you want to be happy for them, but you kind of know that the relationship, the friendship is pretty much about to go downhill.
As a child free by choice woman, do you sometimes feel some certain way when your very close friend gets pregnant? When she's expecting a baby or she's having a baby, do you feel some kind of certain way that, oh my God, this friendship is not going to be the way it used to be anymore? We're not going to be as close as we used to be anymore. Oh my God, the conversations we're going to be having is not going to be the kind of conversations we'll be having anymore? Or do you feel like, oh, whenever I want to call my friend to hang out any time of the night, she's not going to be available for me anymore? Do you feel like do you feel like your friendship, something is going to happen to the friendship in the long run? What is your take? Because it's a beautiful sister over here. She's saying that asking some child free by choice women like her, do you sometimes secretly feel like your close friendship with someone that is expecting a baby is not going to be all that close anymore, because she feels that way because she chose not to have children, and she knows that she's not going to be the village for your children. She knows that she's not going to be the village for your child. It's not like she's not going to care for your child. It's not like she's not going to be there for your child, or she's not going to be there for you as well as a friend. But because she doesn't want to have a child for a reason or for her own reason, she's like, she might not be there to babysit. She might not be there to, have kids around, running around our house, because she might not be comfortable with it. And she feels like, even sometimes when she tries to make the friendship, come together, it's always at the end of the day, it will not be like it's used to when you were not pregnant, or when the friend was not pregnant. Let me really click for you also watch to the end so we can be on the same page. And I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
So this is just to my child-free girlies, right? How many of you guys notice a difference when your best friend or one of your close relatives or someone announces that they're pregnant, and you want to be happy for them, but you kind of know that the relationship, the friendship is pretty much about to go downhill? And so do you bail first, or do you just let them bail? Because in most cases, there are exceptions to this rule, obviously, but in most cases, with most child-free women, we notice that the friendship pretty much dies after they have kids, because they have to go be a mommy. They have to be a mommy and stuff, and they have to do the mommy thing. And now all of a sudden you really don't want to invite them places, because every time you've ever invited them, they always said they couldn't do it, either because they never had any money, or they didn't find a babysitter, or something like that. And it just slowly just died down after a while. And it happened to several of your friends over the years or whatever. And so you just kind of come to accept the fact that a lot of the times, not all the times, but most of the time, for most child-free women, you notice that it just starts to die down. The second part to this, they just started loading my truck just now. The second part to this is, do you back off? Do you dip? Or do you allow them to dip? Because deep down, you know that you are not the village. Now, I want you to think about that for a second, right? And when I say you're not the village, I mean, you ain't finna be babysitting. Like, you know that you got your own life.
Yeah.
You got a job, you got the careers, you got hobbies, you got things you're doing every day. And you don't want to be close enough to the situation. To some degree, you miss them and you love them and you want the best for them. But at the same time, you really don't want to be too close to the situation, because you really don't want them asking you to babysit. I can't be the only one. Like, I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So I want you guys to chime in and let me know how many of us are out there, please. I am not the village. And as bad as that may sound, I chose not to have kids for a reason. Yeah. I don't want to babysit. And to be honest, the biggest fear that I have with that is that something will happen to your kid and you will blame me for it, or I'll be sued, for it, or I'll have criminal charges brought against me, even though I would know something wasn't my fault. And the courts will see it differently. Like, for an example, last year I was thinking about getting a trampoline, but I didn't get it because I was scared that a lot of the kids in the neighborhood would want to jump on my trampoline. Not only do I not want them jumping on my trampoline because kids tear stuff up, and I'm somebody who has a lot of nice things, and I cannot, like, somebody breaking a champagne glass of mine just literally burns my blood, right? So I'm one of those people that's like, please don't break that, right? So not only do they tear stuff up, but if any of them hurt themselves and they decided to take me to court or something, I could be sued, because they'll be like, it happened on your property. I've seen this happen to too many people, and I just thought it was so unfair, but that's the law. And so because that's the law, your kids are not allowed at my house, because I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to take the time to have to watch them and make sure they're not sticking things into the sockets and stuff, and making sure they're not in the cabinets drinking chemicals. And and it's not that I would be irresponsible and let it happen, because I wouldn't. The issue is I don't want to have to think about those things. When I get into my routine of cleaning up or doing my landscaping or whatever, I just don't want to be bothered with that stuff. And so there's a part of me that thinks your kids are adorable. I love people's babies and stuff, but just kind of keep them over there, right? So it's kind of like, I'll hold the baby for a few seconds. After a good 20 seconds of them crying, okay, come get your baby. Like, whose man's is this, right? But I want to know how many of you guys secretly feel this way. Like, I really love you and I care about you and I want the best for you. And if you need anything, I'll help you with milk, formula, whatever you need. But please don't ask me to babysit, because I can't mentally. I literally chose not to have kids for a reason. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want to be sued. I don't want anything held against me. I'm one of those people. I'm at that age now where kids just standing outside in my grass, just, you know what I mean? And they think I'm very nice, and I am a very nice person. I'm nice to everybody, but deep down I'm like, get off my fucking grass, right? I'm at that age now. When I was a kid, I didn't understand why old people got mad that you were like picking their flowers and stuff. But listen, if you pick my hydrangeas, off with your head, okay? Not for real, but I'm just saying. But I want to know, leave you guys comments below, because I really want to know if I'm the only person that feels this way, if that makes any sense. Like, I love you, but I really don't want to participate that much. I don't want to get that close to the situation, because I don't want you asking me to babysit, because I love you, but I'm not the village. I'll talk to you guys later.
If you feel this way, let us know in the comment section. I know that I have a lot of child-free by choice, beautiful child-free by choice women that watch my videos. Let me know that in the comment section. Do you sometimes feel this way secretly? Is it secretly feeling, like deep down, when somebody says you secretly feel this way, it's something like you actually feel that, but you don't say it out loud. Like, you have that feeling, but you're not saying it out loud. So do you secretly feel that way, like, I can't babysit your child? Or when your friend just call you, I'm having a baby. Yes, you're happy for them. I'm not saying you're not happy for them. You're happy for them, but then you're like, oh, I just lost a friend. Like, you're not so close. You're not going to be as close to your friend as you used to anymore. And because our lifestyle is about to change, or even when she has a baby, our lifestyle has changed already, and a lot of things going to change about you and that friend, and your friend, a lot of things going to change in your life. So, and you know that you yourself, you don't even like children, and you don't want to fake it, of course. Doesn't mean you're not going to be there for your child's children. Like, you don't know what I mean. What is your take? Do you secretly hate those things, or do you secretly feel that way? People stitched this video, and some were saying that the creator was a bad friend, or she's a bad friend, or whoever she's close to should stay away from her, because them that they are child free by choice, they do not feel that way at all. In fact, they always want to babysit their friends. They only want to know everything that goes around their friend's child, blah, 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 that you shouldn't be feeling that way, blah, blah, blah. Why some are saying, yes, they secretly feel that way. So I know that you can either secretly feel that way or you don't. But let me know, which side are you on? Do you still want to be part of your child's baby life, everything? You just like nothing changes? Let us know down in the comment section. Let's have conversation about this in the comment section respectfully. Let's go ahead and watch the stitches together. I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the stitches.
That the friendship pretty much dies after they have kids because they have to.
I don't know if I'm completely the outlier, but I don't secretly feel this at all. I have actually all my friends, I think most of my friends have children and I still have relationships with them. Okay. It's just instead of going to like bars and doing shots, now I hang out at their house and hang, maybe we'll have like a few Trulies or something, but like it's like hanging at their house and then hanging with the kid. Or just yesterday was Saturday, St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I'm 33 years old. I'm not going to the bar to party for it anymore, child free or not. And so I hit up my cousin who has a kid. She's pregnant with her second. She's like, hey, we're going to the zoo today if you want to come. And I was like, absolutely. And we had a great time. I feel like people try to put out this persona that like child free means you hate children so you can never hang out with them. And that's absolutely not true. I just don't want my own.
So this is just to my child free girlies, right?
First and foremost, Miss Girl, I hope whoever your friends are, like your friend group, I hope they jump you in your sleep, respectfully. And I hope their kids jump you too. Second of all, the moment my friends tell me that they're pregnant, we're pregnant together, and we're going through this, I want to see ultrasounds. I want to hear heartbeats. I want to be around all of it. I want to be there on video when you're giving birth. I've seen a couple of my friends give birth. Very traumatic. Very traumatic. But it is what it's going to be. And if, after you have your baby, if I hang out with you, you better have your baby. If you don't have your baby, I don't want to hang out with you. Because there's nothing for me and you to talk about. I am auntie. I am in godmom mode. Like, what are you? The friend doesn't even exist anymore. And you're talking about who decides to, leave first. Why would you leave your friend over a kid? Like, now that I'm pregnant, my friends are just as pregnant with me. Like, when they're pregnant, I'm pregnant with them. I'm pregnant now. I'm the one of two of the last, people of the friend group to have a kid. And I wish one of them would talk about oh, you have a kid, things about to change. Girl, you better take my dog for a walk and get some air. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. But respectfully, I really hope they jump you in your sleep.
So this is just to my child free girlies, right?
Yeah, hi, child-free girly here. I just wanted to share my experience because I am 26 years old. I don't have any kids. I have had plenty of friends that have had kids, and not only that, but when I was 18, one of my best friends got pregnant, and she has 3 kids now. And when she got pregnant with her second, she asked me to be their godmother. So I'm godmother to these 3 kids, and the oldest is 7 now. My short answer is that if you ditch your friends when they get pregnant, you're a shitty friend, and you weren't that close to begin with. To clarify, your other feelings are valid. Fear of being in charge of someone else's kid. Yeah. Totally valid. Not wanting to take on responsibility that you can't handle, like babysitting. Totally valid. But what I'm hearing from you is that you don't know how to or don't like setting boundaries. Because that's the simple and easy solution. You could tell your friend right off from the bat, I don't have experience with kids, I'm not comfortable with it, and I don't want to be on your roster for babysitters, if it's really that much of a concern. If you don't feel that strongly about it, you could handle it on a case-to-case basis. And they ask on a Tuesday, and you're tired, and you don't feel like doing it, and it's not your responsibility, just say no. I would say from my experience of watching all these people around me become parents is that the only thing that new parents or parents in general want from their friends is friendship, is a person to talk to that's not a baby. A person to talk to, laugh with, hang out with, that is not going to ask them for something or need something from them. And the reality is, like, some things change when you have kids, but from what I've seen, you can still do a lot of the same things you did before, with your friends or without. I got cold. But anyway, the other thing I'm hearing is that you have attachment problems with your stuff. And to a certain point, I understand it. Like when you have nice things, you want them to stay nice. There are a lot of things in my house my godkids are not allowed to touch. They are completely off limits. But something I've learned from just being around them and kind of partly unpacking some of my trauma that I grew up with, you know, we all have our things, is that stuff is just stuff. When you sit there and obviously you don't have a kid, so this isn't really towards you, but when you sit there and you berate a child for breaking something, you're just doing damage. You're not teaching them that they need to be careful with things. You're not teaching them the respect of other people's belongings. You are just instilling in them anxiety. Which is kind of reminding me of what you're saying, is that like I feel like I could probably assume that either you came from an environment where nothing was ever cared about, so you're hyper vigilant about your stuff, or one of your parents was really, really intense and overbearing about things being the way they're supposed to be. And the money thing I get, that's a factor. But at the end of the day, like, things are just things, you know? I'm not saying let them go buck wild, okay? It just doesn't make sense to me because, like, if your friend got a promotion at work and got, like, a really the promotion came with a lot of new responsibilities and like the huge project that they're in charge of or some shit, you would not sit there and go like, oh, I don't know if I can be their friend. They're going to be too busy with work. Like, and they might even ask me to help, or like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, it's communication of your boundaries is all it takes. And this might be a personal thing. Some people don't like kids. I get that. But like, what I will say is that these kids have been one of the best parts of my life. I love them so much. And honestly, like, it's better than having your own kids because you get to literally hang out with them and play with them and give them candy and be the cool aunt. And then you go home and you go to sleep in your quiet ass house in your comfy ass bed where nothing smells like pee because toddlers pee on everything. But yeah, chances are that new parent, that person that you're not going to be talking to anymore because they got pregnant, is going to be going through one of the hardest times in their life, and most likely all they really want is for you to talk to them and have a friend just to talk to. So yeah,
The relationship, the friendship is pretty much about to go downhill.
So go back and watch our whole video. As someone who is the only one in my friend group who has a child, all of my other friends have not had children yet and or are child free by choice. As the only one, I literally had a friend say, who am I going to drink with now, when she found out I was pregnant? Obviously, after the congratulations, after the whatever. And that is fair. It is fair to think about how your relationship with your friend is going to change when they become a mother, because it is. Their time changes, like what they can do, what they can't do, kind of just where they are in life is going to change. However, if your friend becoming a mom is something that you think like, oh, this friendship's going to be over because they're going to be a mom, you guys were never going to last anyway. You were never going to last anyway. Your friendship was conditional on their, you know, how convenient their schedule was for you, or how, you know, even like the way you're showing up for said friend, right? She mentioned like, I'm not going to be the one to babysit for you. That friend, she already told me, she was like, girl, babysitting, I don't know. However, I will come to you, so it's more convenient for you, for us to hang out. I'll come and hang out with you at your house with your son, with your baby. And whenever she comes, when she's like been out, whatever, she'll like come with outfits. Like, I thought he would be cute in this, so I just picked it up. You know, or I thought, you know, whatever. Or she'll text me, she'll call me, she'll make sure I'm good, make sure we're good. She shows up for me as my village in a way that she's comfortable with and that she can offer. And I appreciate that. That's honest, right? I'm not going to call you to babysit when you've already said that that's not really your jam, and that's okay. But to say that, you know, you can't be friends with someone now because like, oh, it's just gonna go downhill and whatever, to me that just means that friendship was not built to last anyway. And you're just finding out now that it's time. The time is up.
that the relationship, the friendship is pretty much about to go downhill.
I'm gonna just come out and say it as a fellow child-free person. Y'all are just terrible friends. The person who made that video and everybody in the comments who agrees with her, y'all are terrible friends. So there's a lot of nuance in this conversation that's missing. First of all, when somebody becomes a mother, a father, they're still outside of that themselves as a person. They're not just their whole life revolves about being that. Now there are some people who act as such, and so I understand not wanting to be friends with those type of people because you don't have kids. Like that doesn't, you can't relate. You don't want to have kids. Your life doesn't revolve around nobody's child in no way. But you can still have a very much fun, healthy relationship with a person who does have kids. And I also seen somebody in the comments talking about like, oh, I see that I have to work around their schedule and da da da. Yeah, because you also have to work around somebody's schedule who don't have kids because they just have a life of their own. Whether they have work, they're doing some type of school, they have hobbies, they have a partner, they just have things going on in their life that as an adult, you have to work around everybody's schedule if you want to hang out and be friends. I feel like the most important thing this girl said was that, oh, I know deep down I'm not the village. Okay, well then you're not a friend. I feel like you're more of an acquaintance. Should have said that, because if you were a friend, you would be understanding and you would want to just be there for more than just the fun times. And I'm not talking about taking on the person's responsibility as a parent, babysitting, none of that. Just being there for them through the thick and thin. Maybe if they can't hang out with you for a period of time, because they do have a lot of things going on, they have children or one child, whatever. But y'all are just acquaintances. Y'all are bad people. Like, honestly, I don't see how y'all agree with that. That statement was really outrageous to me. Like, how's it automatically gonna go downhill just because they have a kid? Y'all are ridiculous.
You guys notice a difference?
I've definitely noticed a difference, not just with friends, but also with my family. I have two older brothers and they both have children now, a daughter and a son. The daughter, she is 6, about to be 7, and the son is about to be 1 in July. And just for context, this is not me complaining or like saying I don't have love for them. Just pointing out the differences that I've noticed. I felt, I wouldn't say like disconnected, but kind of like away from them a little bit more, because I feel like we don't really relate on a lot anymore. They have obviously way more responsibilities and stuff, and like they have to put most of their energy into their children, and I feel like it's definitely affected our relationship. And just to put it frankly, they just don't have enough time like to spend with me anymore. I'm their only sister, and it kind of hurt my feelings because finally now we're all on the same kind of like wavelength, like mentally. We're all not super close in age. One is 3 years older than me and one is 8. And like now that I've experienced life a little bit more, I kind of wanted like to be able to build on that relationship a lot more. And now I kind of feel like, not that I'm losing out on that chance, but because they have children, they have a lot more responsibility, and they made that choice. It's kind of like, all right, where's the time for your sister and like your family, And on the other hand, this might come off like, I don't even know how to say this. I'm gonna just say it like blankly. I kind of feel like I've been put in a position against my will to take care of them too. Not that I'm saying that I would reject them, but because I don't have children, because I don't have like crazy bills and stuff like that, I don't have as many responsibilities as they have, it kind of, do I say this? I kind of feel like they don't take my choices seriously and like what I want to do seriously and what I spend my money on seriously. And sometimes it's kind of like, oh, well, you don't have this to do, or you don't have this to do. And it's just like, yeah, because I didn't choose to have a child. Like, I didn't choose to have this responsibility because I wanted a different path. I noticed different, not better or worse, just different path. And not that I've felt like guilt tripped, but it kind of comes off that way sometimes, or maybe that's just like the vibe that I get, like from that. And that's not saying I'm never open to helping and stuff like that, but I have to kind of like, I definitely have had to like set boundaries and say, okay, well, my money is my money. I want to go travel. Like, I just for argument's sake, I can't lend you money. Not that they've asked, but I can't lend you money. Like, I'm not about to go out and splurge and like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't pick up your bills just because I don't have a child. Like, I have other things that I want to take care of. And not only money wise, but like, I really love to travel, and now that I can afford to, I really want to do that, with my siblings a lot more, and can't. Like, it's a lot harder to do that now because they have children and they have, those responsibilities that come with a child. And, it's given me, I'll say, like a really lonely feeling because I've had to do so many things by myself. And like, not even just with my siblings, where that's concerned, but with friends who have children now, like that. I can't like call them up and say, oh, hey, I want to go to Puerto Rico this weekend. Can you come?
What?
No, like, and like, it's a very lonely feeling. Like, I literally, I would not choose any other like life path. Like, I'm not about to choose to have a child, but I cannot ignore that it feels really lonely, like being around people who chose that and are going like a different path because they don't have time like to, I guess, like extend to me, well, anymore. And it's definitely become like more one-sided where I am the one that's helping and I'm the one that's extending, and then it's just like, all right, well, what about me? And then it comes off selfish if I say that, if I ask for them to reciprocate. And I mean, with friends, with, my siblings and stuff, it comes off that way. And I don't know, it's, yeah.
Know that the relationship, the friendship is pretty much about to go downhill.
This conversation is so interesting to me, and go watch her video, but basically she's talking about as child-free women, what do you do when your other friends like have children? Like, do you just watch that relationship dwindle? Like, how do you deal with that situation? A couple things about me. I have been single most of my adult life, and I'm child-free and plan to be child-free. I also have 3 best friends, like absolute best friends, that have children. One has 4 children, and the other 2 has like 1 child. I was going through the comment section, and I found it so interesting because I saw a lot of comments from child-free women saying, the minute my friend tells me I'm pregnant, I'm out. And then a lot of like mothers saying, oh, I found out who my real friends were when I got pregnant. I feel that I don't hear this conversation that often. Adult friendships take just as much work as like romantic relationships, and in my opinion, they take even more. And I think that has to do a lot with the way we talk about romantic relationships versus like friendships. I think it's very easy to say best friends forever, and that's just like a thing people say, and I don't really know if they mean it. Like, I mean it when I say that, but I know that that's going to take effort and work, both on my part and my friend's part, whether they're child-free or they have kids. I also feel like the way that society works and like media works, like we're given so many scripts of how and what to do when you have issues and like problems with romantic relationships, but then when you have things that you come up against in friendships, there's no like real guidance, at least not like on a grand scale in the way that it is for a romantic relationship. I am somebody who doesn't want to have kids, but when my friends were pregnant, I was excited for them because I care about them as people, and I understand that that's something that they care about. In romantic relationships, you're supposed to care about the things that your partner cares about. You're supposed to at least put some effort into like understanding their passions and their desires. So why wouldn't I do that in just like my friendships? That being said, you're right. I'm not interested in being a babysitter. I specifically told my friends, like, maybe at a certain age, I wouldn't mind babysitting your kids. But I'm definitely not babysitting all 4 kids. And it's not going to be until they're like in their teens, maybe. And my friends have looked at my life and understand my needs, my desires, my willingness to do things, and they've taken that into account. And so they wouldn't ever ask me to do or expect me to do those things, because that's not a part of like what I want in my life. I just think there needs to be a lot more conversations about like this, because like people are losing out on friendships just because like there's differences in people's lives, and that just seems crazy to me.
So this is just to my child-free girlies, right?
I'm the only friend within my friend group out of all of my friends that does not have a child. Again, the only one. And I'd like to offer a different perspective than the original creator. No hate to her. Just need to kind of get what I feel on this topic out. The mindset of, my friendships are going to lose their value because someone has a kid is more so not that you lose value in your friend's eyes, but that they've lost their value to you. And I don't know about most of you, but my friendships value does not deteriorate just because they had a kid. We are human beings and we are built to adapt, and sometimes we just have to adapt to a new friendship dynamic. We have to adapt to a new family dynamic. And I personally do so with open arms, because my friendships are not based on what they can or cannot give me. They're based on love and trust. Will the dynamics of your relationship change a bit? Absolutely. But my love never wavers for them. My love for that baby is going to be out of this world. And just because they added a baby to the mix does not mean that your friendship is over. It just means they're not going to be able to give you as much attention, and that shouldn't be like the basis of your friendship anyway. So no, I don't personally grieve my friendships with my friends or my relationships with my family members just because they announced that they're pregnant.
So this is just to my child-free girlies, right?
Hey y'all, so y'all can go back and watch the previous creator's video. No shade to her or anything, but it did, start some conversation. So I want to talk about something. So if someone who is a new mom and has very minimal friends that are parents in my friend groups, I do think that what she said came off a little tone deaf. I feel as though a lot of the times people tend to forget that being a new mom is a brand new journey. You're not going to be the same person you were pre-pregnancy, nor will you ever go back to being that person. You're battling with lack of sleep. You're battling with, the transition of being a mother. So we don't intentionally not want to talk to you guys. We just don't have the time. I think it's just as simple as that. I do think that it's one of those things that you won't understand until you experience yourself. So have some grace for your new mom friend.
Times, not all the times, but most of the time, for most child-free women, you notice that it just starts to die down.
As a happily single, happily child-free, and now happily male-centered woman, the way I relate to the Sovereign Woman and her content is like, when I'm watching her videos, I feel like I'm watching myself, because her thoughts are my thoughts. And in this particular video, she's igniting the conversation around being a child-free woman in relationships and friendships with other women who decide to become moms. And she's asking, how do we navigate those particular relationships? And I really wanted to weigh in on the conversation because I'm 46 and my friends started having children when we were in our teens, when I was 19. And so I found myself in a lot of situations where I had to decide if the friendship any longer served me or worked for me, because every single time the dynamic of the relationship changed. And I've had relationships and friendships where I became an afterthought. I was treated like, I didn't matter, or I wasn't important anymore, or like the children or the boyfriend or husband became the focus of my friend's attention. In fact, when I was 19, my best friend got married, and her father died, and I went to go support her like a best friend would. And when I showed up to her house, she barely talked to me. Her focus was on her husband the whole entire time. And I remember feeling slighted. I remember walking away leaving the house feeling like, wow, you know, I came to support and just check on you and love on you, and I was ignored, and I was treated like, you know, like I was invisible, and that really hurt my feelings. And then she went on. I stayed friends with her, and she went on to have children and all of that, right? And eventually, it got to the point where I would call, and she was barely calling me back. My phone calls were getting ignored and all those sort of things. And then one day, out of the blue, when she started having problems with her husband, then I was getting called and I was asked, like, hey, do you have time to talk, and all that kind of sort of stuff. And it was just like, wow. And so in that situation, she and I are no longer friends, because it's like, what do, you know? And I've been in situations where I've silently walked away from the friendship and I didn't communicate my feelings. In fact, I didn't communicate my feelings. And looking back on it, I was younger. I didn't know. I didn't have healthy communication skills. And so if I could go back, I would redo it. Knowing what I know now and having the wisdom I have now about how to, you know, communicate and engage in healthy relationships, I would go back and do it differently. But yes, I have done that before. But I've also had friendships where my friends respected, you know, me and my singlehood and my child-free womanhood, right? And they didn't force their motherhood journey on me. They didn't force their children on me. And those are the friends that I'm actually still friends with to this day. And then I've also had friends who I showed up and tried to support and be a village, you know, be a supportive friend and as a part of the village, and help out with babysitting and all of that sort of thing, and got taken advantage of. So obviously for most of us, our experiences in life informs our decision making. And I'm reading through the comments and I'm seeing where a lot of moms are in the comments saying that they're shocked that the single, or the child-free woman is feeling and saying all the things that they're saying. And these women the child-free women are saying, like, the experiences that I've had, this is what they've experienced as well. And you have a lot of moms in the comments saying, like, well, that doesn't make sense. I've never expected my friends to babysit, and I've never done my friends that way. And it's like, we're not talking about you. This isn't, why are you centering yourself in these other women's experiences? If they say that this is what they've experienced in life, and this is causing them to feel the way they feel, where they don't want to be in relationship with moms, they have every right to feel that way. Their feelings are valid. And it's unfair to say that these women, because they're also saying that the women, child-free women who feel that way, are selfish and aren't good friends. And that's such an unfair criticism, because everybody's natural abilities are different. And I just think people need to take a moment to think about what village or community really means to them. And for me, community looks like having a group of friends or a group of people who all are individuals with different strengths and weaknesses, right? And have different natural abilities, and can contribute in their different ways to the village. So those who aren't naturally drawn to children or aren't good with children, I wouldn't expect them to want to engage and participate in things that involve children. Go to the other friends that are more into children for that sort of support. And make space for people to be able to support you in the ways that they naturally have the ability to support you in, right? I don't see what's so wrong with that. But I don't know, I could be wrong in looking at it that way. But I just think that child-free women, we get a bad rep. Like, we get attacked people get angry. I've had people get mad at me for being honest with them and telling them, hey, like, I'm not really interested in friends who have children because my lifestyle is a lot different from yours, and I just don't think that it would work out. And I've had people get offended by that. And it's like, what do y'all want? Do you want people to lie to you and pretend and be fake and phony around you and act like they like kids when they don't? Or do you want honesty? What do you value? You know? But yeah, so those are just my thoughts around it.
The friendship is pretty much about to go downhill.
So I already work from the baseline that adult friendships are already hard to maintain. And there's ebbs and flows in relationships based on a variety of factors. Kids, school, work. So life can already be busy. You add kids on top of it. Then sometimes you add the baby daddy or the husband who's not doing a whole lot with the kid. At the end of the day, friendships are two-way streets. And when you're the single friend, and you have a friend in your life, by the time they get to the kid stage, you've already invested way more time, money, resources into that person than you'll ever get back. For me, it's more like a slow fade. It doesn't mean I hate the person or there's any bad blood there. But sometimes there's chapters of your life where you don't have a lot in common with that person. And hopefully one day the friendship can resume.
All right. Do you secretly feel some certain way if your close friend or your close family is having a baby or they start having children? As a child free by choice woman, do you feel some certain way? That's conversation we are having in today's video. And as a mom, how do you feel when your child free by choice friend kind of, distance themselves when you tell them you're having a baby, or has it happened? Let us know down in the comment section. I kind of understand where the creator Sovereign Woman was coming from, saying that you can secretly feel some certain way. I kind of understand where she's coming from, because there's some kind of people that once they are in a new way or new part of life, they are kind of, into that life that they forget that you are not into that life with them. Example, you have a friend that she's pregnant, or before she got pregnant, both of you are like up and about, you're so close, you do everything together, you hang out, you do this, you do that. All of a sudden she's pregnant and she's not like all about the pregnancy. Any conversations you're having is, oh my God, the baby. Oh my God, I went to the hospital. The baby. Okay, after she puts to bed, it got worse. The baby. Or maybe it's marriage. There's some people that don't want to get married, single by choice women. I don't want to marry, Men, no, we don't want. And you kind of have a friend that she's like, I'm getting married. I just got engaged. My man, everything my man. Let me tell my man, I'm with my man. Those kind of people make you want to secretly don't like it. Or they just want to make you like put the friendship aside because they are the one changing the friendship. I feel like it's how your friend actually make you feel. That is how you will just want to distance yourself from the friendship. Imagine you don't like children. You don't want to have children for your own personal reasons, right? And they keep telling you some things about children that you're not interested in. Having conversations with that kind of friend all the time is going to be boring, because it doesn't add anything to your life. So why are they calling you and telling you about children, my child? Like, it's not like you're not, I don't know. I kind of get where she's coming from. I feel like that's where she's coming from. Like, you're not bothered. Like, it's none of your business. You don't want to have children, so you don't care if your child is teething. Like, she doesn't want to know because she doesn't understand it, and it's not the kind of conversations she wants to have, right? And people that are coming for her saying that she's a bad friend or she's supposed to be there, when our friends are, having a baby or have a baby or being a mom and all of that. I don't think she's a bad friend. I just feel like she's who she is, and if she says that she doesn't want anything to do with children, she doesn't want anything to do with children. Everybody have their strengths and their weakness. Just like one of the stages said, everybody has their strengths and their weakness. If that is where she's like, you as a friend, you as a good friend, you understand that I'm not going to call this my friend because she doesn't know anything about babysitting. Let me not give my child to her. Do you understand? that doesn't mean the friendship is a bad one. Because I am not babysitting your child doesn't mean I am a bad friend or I'm a bad auntie to your child or I hate your child. No, it just means that I don't know how to babysit, or I don't want problem, or I don't want you to eventually you come back and pick your child and be like, why does my child has injury in the nose? Why can't you call me when my child was pooing? Like, I don't want that kind of thing. So I will tell you I don't want to babysit. Doesn't mean that I hate your child. Doesn't mean I don't want to be with your child, right? It's not everybody that wants to babysit a child. It's not everybody that wants to be around children. Child-free by choice women, as I said, most of them have their personal reasons for not wanting to have a child, and they don't owe us anything for saying that they don't want to take care of our children. Like, you, as if you know you have a friend that is child-free by choice, you should respect that, and not because because you are a mom, you want to impose some things to your child-free by choice friend. And yeah, there's some child-free by choice women that actually like other children. You see some women, they don't just want to have a child of their own. Doesn't mean that they don't want to accommodate so many children. You see some friends that are child-free by choice women and they accommodate so many children. They are very good with babysitting. They're very good with children. They're very good with playing with children. They can sing. They can make children happy. Yeah, that is another side of child. But some people don't even know. You can just be with a baby and you're looking at the baby like this. You don't even know what to say to the baby, because you don't know anything, and it's fine, right? It doesn't make you a bad friend. For me though, I just feel like that is my own opinion. It doesn't make you a bad friend for you not to be, involved in your friends, yeah. And if you say you secretly feel some certain way when your child has a baby, I feel like it might be coming from the friend itself, because that's a friend that once their life is changing, once everything is changing, they forget that you are not actually changing with them. Like, your own life is still the way it is. Like, you're still a person without a child. They forget, but they always want to carry you along with what is going on. They always want to carry you along, but they do it too much. I'm not saying don't carry your friend along. I'm not saying don't be interested, like, how you feeling, how's the baby. I'm not saying don't be interested at all, because, or don't have conversation about baby. No, you have conversation about baby, because your friend life has already changed and all of that. But when it's getting too much, because some people do it too much, right? Some people do it too much. They base all conversation on children, bets, da da da, man, my man, my man. And it can be very annoying, because especially you that you're not very so much interested in conversations like that, it's very, very annoying. For me though, that is what I feel. But then again, there's some people that don't even know they are doing that, right? Some mothers don't know they are doing that because they're so much excited that they're having a baby. New moms, the way they behave, they're so much excited that they're having a baby. They want to share every details with their friend, so they might not know that they're kind of making the friendship to go some certain way. So if you're a child-free by choice woman and you have a friend that is kind of making you feel that way, I feel like you communicate to your friend and be like, girl, it's not like I'm not happy for you, but you're not getting worried. Like, you should try to communicate. If guys are very close, try to communicate and be like, must we talk about baby today? Today we're not talking about your man. Let us talk about another thing. Just make things, instead of just withdrawing silently. I feel like that is not big, because your friend might not even know they are doing that. They might just be so much excited that they're already starting a new life. I just feel like there are different kind of friendship, right? So if you're really close to someone, you should be able to know their strengths and their weakness, what they like and what they dislike, what they can accommodate and what they cannot. So if you can get that from your friend, you shouldn't get angry in some things when they do. Just be like, oh, that's my friend. Oh, she won't do it. So, and it's normal. It's okay. Right? Because it's very wrong, even if they now start pretending that they can do it. And at the end of the day, they hate it. How would you feel? It's better for them to be themselves, be free, and accept what they can accept from you. Anyways, what is your take on today's conversation? Are you a mom? Are you a child-free by choice woman? You have something to say. Just put it down in the comment section respectfully. Of course, we have conversation in the comment section respectfully. And thank you all so much for tuning in today's video. It's your favorite girl again, Maria David. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Please subscribe and turn on the post notification bell to get notified when I upload another interesting video. And I will see you all in my next one.